Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you today. All right, yeah, the number one tackle in the country is going to make his decision within 24 hours. We're going to talk about that. Also, another big story, or you could say not a big story, August 15th passed, and it looks like FSU and Clemson, they're stuck temporarily at the minimum. And also, Connor Stalions has gotten a job in football as a coach.
You serious?
And it's not at the middle school. So we're going to talk about all that. Let's start out with what didn't happen on August 15th. As you know, there was a lot of talk for, going on the last several months that FSU and Clemson would be leaving the ACC. They would announce it or they would let the ACC know. They're not happy with the amount of money that they're making in the ACC. And I've shown you the charts, but I'll show you very quickly. If you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, you're making about $25 million more than anybody in the Big 12 or the ACC, which we're now Power 4. Of course, the Pac-12 is gone. And, of course, with the college football playoff money, you're about $10 million off in the ACC or Big 12 because the Big Ten and the SEC, they pretty much flexed their muscle when they were negotiating that and said, well, you know, we don't have to do the college football playoff at all. The Big Ten, the SEC, we'll just take our ball and go home. And the ACC and Big 12 are like, we can't really do that. So that's the situation. The other problem is the ACC's got this super long-term deal with ESPN for the next umpteen years, and they're going to have very limited opportunity to make more money with that TV contract. Whereas the Big Ten and the SEC are going to sign new contracts well before the end of that contract. So the difference is going to go from $25, $30 million to probably $40 or $50 million. And that's a huge issue as far as competition because those schools can spend more money on their facilities, more money here, more money there, and they'll be able to allow their donors to donate more to NIL, which gives another huge advantage. And there's the other problem that they're going to start revenue sharing very soon, probably be next year. And that's going to be about a $30 million expense coming off the top of your budget. So you're going to have like $21 million that'll be going to players as far as revenue sharing. Then you're going to have a lot more scholarships. Plus you're going to have punitive damages that have to go towards the people that were hurt prior. So that's about a $30 million expense per year per team. If you want to compete, you don't have to spend the whole $21 million on revenue sharing. But if you don't, you're not going to have as good at players. So for FSU and Clemson, they see the forest for the trees. They know the ACC is not a good spot for them. But unfortunately, they're currently stuck. And there was a lot of talk that something was going to happen in July. As a matter of fact, even Josh Pate had come out, who's super conservative, and said he'd heard from the legal folks that something was going to give as opposed to the football folks. So that had a lot of credence. I'm sure he heard that. I have no doubt of that. I don't think Josh Pate's going to come out there and mislead anybody. But a lot of us thought that, and it just didn't happen. And let's be real about it. What caused all of this, especially for it to happen so soon and for it to get so ugly and to have all these lawsuits, is the fact they got screwed out of the playoff. All right, they went undefeated, won their conference, everything, and they didn't get in. Now, they would have gotten in if not for Commissioner Phillips and his precious alliance, where he formed an alliance with two other conferences to block the SEC from getting what they wanted, which was a 12-team playoff. So they pushed it back 1 year. They were the only conference leaders to vote against it. All the other conferences voted for 12-team, and the SEC was pushing it. Well, Greg Sankey is somebody that they wanted to push it back on. Well, Commissioner Phillips is the only commissioner left that voted that way. So there's a lot of anger about that too, because FSU would have been the fifth spot, which you can say they should have been the top four. That's fine. But at 5, they'd have had home field and played against number 12. They'd have been very happy. I promise you that game would have been sold out. It'd have been very exciting, and they wouldn't be near as angry. But because they got creaked out of the playoff, as you know, the Board of Regents, they voted to sue and do all these things, and there was a lot of pressure. I mean, there was even $1 million set aside by the governor of Florida to help with suing the college football playoff if they found any impropriety or anything along those lines. They even had the attorney general involved. So there's just a lot of bad feelings down there. And right now, look, they're just stuck, honestly. And it's going to be like this until they're unstuck.
You don't talk to me like that! People are scared of me.
Why would anyone be scared of you? I hate you, you big fat turd.
Yeah, this is a very unhappy marriage, and they're staying together for the kids. But once those kids get into college, I'm sure it'll be over. How long? I don't know how old the kids are, though. Are they 16? Are they 6? Anyway, that's what's going on with FSU. Basically, no news, which is actually big news. And probably the best thing to do is just, look, I've talked about Ampy's pickles before. What FSU and Clemson needs to do is this.
Well, there's only one thing to do. That's what we should have done in the first place. You mean, learn to love them.
Yep, learn to love them. That's the only thing you can do right now. And here's the nice thing. Y'all are the two dominant teams in the ACC, so you got a great opportunity to get in the playoff or win the conference and get an automatic bid. So you're going to be fine. It's just financially you're not. And you've got another year to try to figure out a way to get away from this ACC. Anyway, now let's talk about David Sanders. He is going to be announcing tomorrow. My understanding is it's going to be at 1:15. And the Vols have received a ton of crystal balls. I think they've had 5 so far, maybe 6. And here's another one from Anna Adams. Of course, he got Wilt Fong. And about every big-time recruiting analyst out there has picked David Sanders to go to the Vols. And here's his post. It says, I will be committing this Saturday at 12:30, but I think he actually commits at 1:15. And you can see all the various teams. Mainly Tennessee fans in here, but there's Georgia, there's Nebraska, Ohio State, etc. This would be a huge get for any team, honestly. I mean, it's the #1 tackle in the country. We went through this last year with Jordan Seaton, I believe was his name, and he wound up picking Colorado out of the blue. It looked like he was either going to be Tennessee or Ohio State, and everybody was leaning towards Tennessee, and he wound up going to Colorado just like that. So hopefully we don't have another one of those repeats. But anyway, I will be covering this live. I don't know if I'm going to come on right before 12:30 or around 1 o'clock. I've just got to verify when he actually decides. And anyway, I'll put out a thumbnail and let you folks know if you want to watch me react to that. And I'll be talking about all kinds of football news and everything else. Anyway, so I'll probably see you tomorrow on that if y'all are available. Anyway, now we're going to talk about Connor Stalions, the most hated man in football. And he has picked up a job on a football team, mind you, and he's going to be working for Detroit Mumford. And the head coach there said, I got the most hated man in college football right now. He's my new defensive coordinator. And in future news, Connor Stalions has been named Assistant Coach of the Year after winning a national title at Detroit Mumford as their defensive coordinator. He has also been linked to multiple job openings, including the head coaching position at the Florida Gators after Billy Napier was let go midway through the season. Also, Arkansas has gotten in on the act after they fired their head coach. However, Bobby Petrino is considered the leader in the clubhouse for that head coaching position. Yeah, you got to give that guy credit. He doesn't give up. I can't believe he's coming back to football as a defensive coordinator. He'll probably do a good job. He's definitely got the energy for it. He gets a little bit fanatical. I wonder if he'll write a 3,000-page manifesto on how to take Detroit Mumford to the national title. And don't forget, on August 27th on Netflix, there's going to be a big expose on him and the whole sign-stealing thing.
Sign stealer guy.
Yeah, the name of the show is Sign Stealer, so that'd probably give you a pretty good idea on what it's going to be about. And it's all going to be from his point of view, so I doubt we're going to get a whole lot of truth out of him, but you never know. And it says in this article, it's unclear if Stalions is being paid for the participation in the Netflix documentary. Oh yeah, let me assure you, Netflix is paying him. There's no question. Netflix has got plenty of money and they pay for content, especially something like this that's going to get tons of views. I can guarantee I'm going to watch it. So anyway, a lot of news going on. Be looking for David Sanders to hopefully commit to our Vols tomorrow. And FSU and Clemson, like I say, it's just learn to love the ACC for another year. I don't know if you're going to be able to get out of that situation or not. And Connor's back.
But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's remember to continue to cover all these big sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 hit that little button. Won't cost you a dime. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.